Hello guys, welcome back, and today we have huge news coming from the devs on the X account. They made an update, the devs from Reverse 1999, and we're gonna go over all of the information that they released and all of the bits and pieces that the breadcrumbs that they left for us, hinting about version 1.1, how long it takes, and some news about also quality of life about the PC client. So let's go check. Basically, the first and one of the biggest point of these quality of life changes are about the tutorial. So the tutorial before, most of you guys didn't play the CBT or are not can be bothered to play the Chinese version currently open that you can play it right now in case you didn't know. So the tutorial takes around, you can skip it, and it takes around 20 minutes. After that, you are forced into the classic gacha tutorial where it forces you to click certain things, and on top of that, some of the aspects of like the features of the game, such as gacha and other features, are locked until a certain point. Right? That's a classic. Now, these quality of life are huge because now they made it so you can skip each chapter in the prologue, so you don't have to do the prologue. The prologue is the first thing. It takes 20 minutes. Now you can simply tap the skip button to view chapter summary. It will look like this. You can most likely go back and watch it again. I don't know where it is, but I have heard multiple times that you can do that, so you can be fine if you're planning to reroll or like rerolling, right? It will take way less now. It will probably take 20 minutes to do everything instead of 50. I'm not even joking. We'll get into that because that's not it. That's not the end of the quality of life. The battle speed feature is gonna be added at 1-1, like first chapter first level instead of first chapter sixth level, which is a little bit longer, and it takes a long time because you still had the tutorial on top of the slow motion of not the 2 times speed, right? So it felt really long and tedious. So now they have it on 1-1. They moved the end of mandatory tutorial. That's what I was saying. The mandatory tutorial is when they force you to click something and you can't escape. Now it was 1-4. Now it's 1-1. So after 1-1, you're immediately free, which is really good because even if you re-rolling, or even if you're just playing the game, if you're re-rolling, especially because that way you're free first immediately, way earlier, and you can decide, okay, do I want to do a fast reroll or do I want to continue the story now that you have battle times 2 and the tutorial is over on 1-1? Do I want to continue and spam a little more and get more crystal drops, right? So that's pretty good. Then they say here that they made the availability of the homepage event, characters, and summon system to after you clear the stage 1-1, so that you can do whatever you want immediately, right? And so that's the first batch of like good quality of life regarding the tutorial. Moving on, there is a little part here that specifies that we will have multiple voice packs. It's going to be Japanese, English, Chinese, and Korean, and you can switch and download each of them as you like, use whatever you want. We also optimized the in-game language display logic. When you start the game for the official launch, the game will automatically switch to the language that matches your system device language. So if you're using an English device, of course, it's going to switch automatically to English, but you can change whenever. Just download the other packs that you like to listen to. Now, personally, I will download the Japanese pack out of curiosity because I usually play Japanese with Japanese voices. But in this game, the English voice acting is probably the best version of playing the game because let's be honest, they did a stellar job. I really like most people, not most, but I've heard some people not liking it. But I like the concept of having different accents because like it's not. The English is not just NA or UK. English is whoever is speaking it, right? So there are characters that come from different ethnicity and countries. Of course, they know a different way their own English, their English, right? So it's gonna be like accents and shit that make the English voice back a little more flavorful, right? A little more nuanced. You're gonna this character speaks like with a German accent. This guy's Lilia speaks with a Russian, I think it's Russian accent. So and she also speaks Russian when you do the alt, I believe. Or no, I don't remember correctly, but still. Moving on the PC version. On the PC version, they did a bunch of adjustments. Now, I never played the PC version because I didn't play the CBT, but I am playing the Chinese one on an emulator because I couldn't find the PC client. I don't know where that is, if they have it. I don't know. But I will read this because I don't know how big of a deal this is. But they made it so when you launch the PC version for the first time, you can adjust resolution, graphics, and enable video compatibility once the hotfix resources are downloaded. Exit and settings buttons have been added to the login page. You can tap the setting button to adjust the graphics. Sounds good. It's one of those things that I can't believe it wasn't there before, right? In the combat screen, you can right-click the skill card to view the card details and right-click the enemies to view their details. In the item selection screen, you can right-click the item icon to view the item details. In the story UI, you can roll the mouse wheel to review the story and press the space bar to move to the next line. In the settings UI, you can choose to mute or play the game audio when the game is running in the background. All right, so all quality of life sounds good. Sounds good. I didn't play it on the PC, so I don't know like annoying things that the PC version had. So moving on, I think that's it. Yeah, moving on. We have another part, another quality of life. Now they made if you didn't know, during the story, let's say you do chapter 1 and chapter 2 is still locked. What does that mean? What do you need to do? They made you go through different side objectives before unlocking 2 that you have to click, otherwise 2 doesn't unlock because it's maybe it's like a story side part, but that's still important. So they want you to pay attention to that one before you move on. So and sometimes there are extra fights. Sometimes it's extra content like an extra dialogue, an extra story. Sometimes it's a riddle. I need to answer by typing the answer. So now they made it so it's easier to spot them. All right. Then they made some scroll down text visual adjustments. So now if there is more text, that you will see like a tiny arrow here. You can see it. You can see it here. There's a tiny arrow pointing down and basically saying, yo, you have more shit that you can read. Scroll down. So, yep. And then we have a very, very juicy update. And I will say that's pretty early. The game isn't even out and they added more stamina. It's called cellular activity. But the question was, the limit is too low and I must log into the game frequently to deplete it. That's common tactics between gacha games trying to be predator, trying to be dog shit pieces of, right? If I face the same trouble in Wilderness and I have to claim the bond too often. Wilderness is your dorm where you build an island, you put your characters there, and then there are some there's like a tower, a castle. I don't know why the word isn't coming into my head right now, but there are structures that give you currency and you need to interact with them frequently, otherwise they cap really fast. So now on the official launch, cellular activity will be raised by 69. For example, if you're a level 10 timekeeper, your max activity will be raised from 101 to 170. So the game basically works like PGR, if you don't know. when it comes to stamina cap. You start with a low stamina cap. The more you level up your account, the higher the max capacity of your stamina is gonna be. It's gonna go from 170 to 200 as you level up, and then it's gonna stay as 1 to 200, right? Character bond storage limit is also changed from 8 hours to 20 hours, allowing you to plan your schedule comfortably. So basically what this means, back then on the CBT, it was made so you had to log in multiple times a day, probably two, to keep everything min-maxed, let's say, avoiding capping and losing stamina and resources, because they cap too fast, like 8 hours. You would have to log in twice a day, and now they made it so you don't have to. You can just log in once a day, which is really good, and most games don't do that. And for example, Honkai Star Rail recently did the same thing. I believe on 1.4, 1.3, they added the stamina reserve, and before they increased the cap, right? So, and it took them a couple patches, like 4 months or something. Reverse 1999 devs are on point, so I'm really appreciating this celerity on addressing the feedbacks. And okay, then we have, I can't play other music or video apps in the background when playing the game on a mobile device. They solved that one, so now you can do that. Are there any future updated in the works? Now we touch a little bit on the version 1.1 that they say is going to be released on November 9th, which means we're going to have from 1.0 to 1.1, we're going to have like a week to 2 weeks probably, right? It's going to be 2 weeks because it's on the 26th of October. On November 9, we're going to get 1.1. A number of events, tasks, and schedules have been optimized accordingly. So probably we're going to get either less events or more events, but way shorter. After 1.1, the 1.1 patch will last for 28 days, right? So I'm assuming they are going to release 1.2 on December 5 or something like that. December 5-ish. So from version 1.2 on December 5-ish, from that point on, the version duration will be adjusted to 42 days, which is usually every gacha big patch length. So that way we will be having time to do all the events, take our time, build our teams, build our PD, farm crystals and stuff like that, right? So yeah, so to recap really quickly, because that's it, that was it. To recap, they cut the amount of tediousness from the tutorial and prologue that we had to follow. Now it's very, very fast. You can skip the prologue and you are free from the tutorial from 1.1. Then we have 4 languages, so you can mix and match however you like. It's going to mirror whatever language you have on your phone, but you can download all the packs, yada, yada, yada. And then we have a bunch of really nice, they sound good, PC version, PC client adjustments and quality of life. And then we have helping visual help for the progression of the side quests between chapters. Then we have a little bit of text fixing, and then we have the big one, which is the stamina increase and the character bond storage limit increase. So you can only log in, if you want to log in multiple times you can, but you will forced, let's say, to keep everything in check to log in at least once a day, which is what everybody's going to do, I'm assuming, right? If you're playing the game, you play at least once a day. And then they unlock the music or video apps on the background when playing the game and on mobile. And 1.1 will be released on November 9, while 1.2 is going to go for 42 days, and 1.1 is going to go for 28 days after November 9. So 1.0, 26 October, 1.1, November 9, 1.2, probably around December, 1st of December, like December 5, 4, 6, depends on how long the day take of downtime between patches. Probably not much, so that's probably going to be it. And yeah, I suggest you guys go follow their X account, because they're very active. They're very active, and they release a lot of information and cool graphics about characters. They introduce characters you might not know, like Anan Lee, for example. That it's my new favorite character. I like Ghostbuster vibes, so I'm gonna try to make a team with her. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. If there is anything else that pops up, I will make a video if it's of importance, if it's like a good chunk. Otherwise, I will just either make a post on the channel, or wait until there's more information and then compile everything into a video like today. Right? So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Consider leaving a like or subscribing, because it really, really helps. You might not know, but it really helps. It might sound like a meme, but YouTubers have to say it, otherwise we lose a little bit of like YouTube favoritism, right? So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time.